Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another TEW 2020 experiment video here. As today we roll the clocks back to 2008. Sunday week 1, April 2008 was actually the end of March, but please ignore that, let's get that out of your mind. It's WrestleMania 24, my first WrestleMania I ever watched as a kid, and so it has a special place in my heart at the very least, and it always will, and so I'm actually quite loath to change anything about it, because I do love it. I think it was a really good WrestleMania. But still, we're going to do it anyway. For this experiment focusing on this man, as you can see, Mr. Kennedy. Now, a few things to note. Mr. Kennedy, WrestleMania 23, won Money in the Bank. He said he was going to cash in at WrestleMania 24, what this experiment's based on. Now, of course, Mr. Kennedy never got the chance to. He got injured at a house show. They thought he would be out for about 8 months, so he had to drop it. He dropped it to Edge. Edge cashed in on Undertaker. All that went on. Then it was found that Mr. Kennedy just had a hematoma, I think it was, and he was out for like 3 weeks to a month, so he didn't need to drop Money in the Bank. And then eventually 2 years later he was fired, so it didn't go too well for him. Now, of the things of note, again, also another one, Mr. Kennedy has said that he was actually not going to cash in on WrestleMania 24, that was just, heel talk. He was going to cash in on Undertaker, what Edge did eventually, instead, and he would have won the world title instead of WWE, but I'm ignoring that, and so what we've done instead is gone to WrestleMania 24, like he originally said, and he has cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he has cheated to beat Triple H, who you can headcanon 2 ways. He was WWE Champion heading into the event, or, he won that triple threat, that amazing triplet with Orton and Cena, or he was champion heading in and Orton and Cena had their singles match they know how at Mania, whatever you want to do. He got 69 if you're curious. Mr. Kennedy cheats to win. And so Mr. Kennedy has cashed in Money in the Bank. He has won the WWE title, but what will come next? I'm going to simulate forward about 5 years, I think, to 2013. And we will look to answer the question, what if Mr. Kennedy kept the Money in the Bank briefcase and became WWE Champion? And here we are, Monday, week 1, January 2013, 5 years into the future. 2013 IRL, where are we? We're heading to WrestleMania 29, and so CM Punk's WWE Champion, and he's getting ready to drop the belt to The Rock, and John Cena's about to win the Royal Rumble. It's all going on. How's WWE looking IRL, though? Jericho's the best wrestler in the world. Ring of Honor's the best company on the planet. The Kings of Wrestling are the best tag team. Match of the year goes to Jericho and Edge, defeating Jeff Hardy and Undertaker. Jericho and Edge have tagged in the past. They were tag champions for like 5 seconds, weren't they? But then Edge got injured, and we got 2008, and we got Jericho instead with Jericho and the Big Show. Jeff Hardy and The Undertaker as well, kind of love that. Show of the year was Ring of Honor, the Tokyo Summit. Ring of Honor doing very well. How are they doing? Austin Aries, Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, Kevin Steen. They've kept a lot of their big stars, which, good for them. Not about them, though. It's about, I haven't put him in the shortlist, Mr. Kennedy. So let's just have a look. Is he still in WWE IRL? Lost his job 2009. Here, though, he's still employed. Not just still employed, he is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So, either he's had a really, really, really long reign, or he's had multiple reigns, which is nice. Also, popularity has gone up a lot. He's in the 80s now. When it started, it was in the 60s, late 60s, I think. Now, he's up into the 80s, so that's clearly gone very well for him, hasn't it? He's got a nice long contract, a nice big contract, 126 grand a month. Go on, Ken. And let's just have a look. He's a 2-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, quite a few achievements, actually. So, he already had his United States and Money in the Bank. He won the WWE Championship April 2008 at WrestleMania. He lost it in November 2008 Survivor Series. So, what's that, 7 months? A nice long reign, 14 defenses in those 7 months as well. So, 2 defense a month. A fighting champion as ever, Mr. Kennedy, of course. Which, a good first reign. And then he had another chance. He won at Elimination Chamber 2010, where the Animal Dave Batista won it IRL. Yep, Vince McMahon just said, yep, Senior having another match, didn't he? Held it till July. So he got another 5-month reign, 8 defenses. He is a fighting champion, isn't he? So, within those first 2 years, he got his WWE title reign that we gave him. He held that for quite a while. He lost it, didn't get fired in 2009, and then they gave him another WWE title reign in 2010. He got drafted over to SmackDown, where he became the World Heavyweight Champion November 2011 at Survivor Series. Held it to May 2012, so once again, entered and exited WrestleMania. On that occasion, it was WrestleMania 28. So, World Heavyweight Champion was Daniel Bryan, And he lost it to Sheamus in very, very, very quick fashion, didn't he? I'm 99% certain. I remember that match kicking off Mania because it lasted absolutely no time, and I still fell asleep before it finished. Younger me was not made to stay up and watch WrestleMania, I promise you. But he did lose that in May in the end. But he's then won it back in November, so he won it back 6 months later, and he is still the champion. So a 4-time world champion. He's not won any mid-card or tag titles. They've just kept him in the world title division, and he's won 4 world titles in this 5-year period, which is very good. Achievement-wise, obviously fought that up highly. 2008, he was the 8th best wrestler in the world. 7th in 2009. 2010, he was 11th. 2011, he was 9th. In 2012, he was 11th. So consistently very highly placed. 11th twice, and 3 years he was in the top 10 wrestlers on the planet. So Mr. Kennedy's in-ring ability has gone up. He's become more popular. He's thought of more highly. 4-time world champion, done very, very well for himself in the 5-year period. 131 wins to 39 losses, booked strongly as well. 170 matches with 131 wins is very positive. Average rating of 84, high quality, like I said. And especially like right at the end here, since the Great American Bash in 2011, all of these light blue. Mr. Kennedy's put in a shift. His highest rating is a 99. There might be others, but the one I'm seeing right now is here. SummerSlam 2012, just gone. He hasn't fought many matches, has he? He didn't pick up an injury. But from July 2011 to now, January 2013, what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 matches in that 15-month strength. Isn't that much, obviously, but they're all such high quality. Who cares? SummerSlam 2012, Triple H defeated Mr. Kennedy to retain the world title. So Triple H getting a measure of revenge. In the end, though, it came back to bite him. Evolution reformed. Batista and Randy Orton defeated Undertaker and Benjamin and Jeff Hardy and Kennedy for a 92 at Unforgiven. He's just wrestling at pay-per-views. A massive... Literally, he has not wrestled on a Raw or a SmackDown since April 2011. Main event, Mr. Kennedy. Getting the Brock Lesnar treatment. Good for you. Well, even Brock Lesnar shows up on Raw and SmackDown these days, but good for him. Eventually, he did dethrone Triple H, Survivor Series 2012, for a 98. Incredible. Mr. Kennedy put in an 86, and Triple H got an 84, but I got a 94, so 98 even. Incredible. And then Armageddon 2012, Mr. Kennedy defeated Randy Orton, John Cena, and Batista to keep a hold of his gold. Mr. Kennedy, 4-time world champ, considered one of the top 11 wrestlers on the planet these past 5 years. WWE-wise, he's not on the tour company. The 5 biggest stars are Jericho, Cena, Edge, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, which is fair enough. Shawn Michaels was retired at this point. Edge also retired through injury, but Edge hasn't been forced to retire, which, you know, that's lovely, isn't it? That's always nice to see. Shout out to Edge for that. Mr. Kennedy just missing out. He's 6 if you look here. So he just missed out on being on the tour company. But clearly still done very well for himself. I just want to check other fun stuff. Stables. La Familia's still going strong. Edge is gone. Let's just headcanon that Chavo kicked him out because that's funny. The Citizens, Batista, Deuce, and Domino. That's very funny. The Ensemble, Kenny Dykstra, Mike Knox, Nunzio, and MVP. MVP is the Muscle instead of Mike Knox, which is funny. Oh, it's always great looking at the stables. And the Regime, Jericho, Cody, and William Regal, which that's just a banger, isn't it? That's just a banger. As overall, Mr. Kennedy, I think he's done a good job. 5 years, 4 world titles. He's thought of so highly by WWE at this point that he only fights pay-per-views. You know, he hasn't appeared on Raw since the Raw before Backlash in 2011, where he beat Gregory Helms, and then WWE said, you know what, you're a bit above that, mate. I actually am tempted to have a look at his WWE title reign, his first one. I mean, a strong reign, beat Triple H a lot of times, beat Randy Orton, beat Umaga, Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, John Cena, Shawn Michaels. Eventually lost it to Randy Orton at Survivor Series. Stayed out of the title picture in 2009 in the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 25, though. Actually, I do want to have a look at the WrestleManias. They're always fun to look at. Where is it? WrestleMania. So 24, we started at 25. Batista defeated The Undertaker. Wait, 24. I didn't even look at The Undertaker. Undertaker won Money in the Bank, of course. At 25, in the main event, a WrestleMania 23 rematch, Batista ended the streak to retain the world title. So exact rematch, actually. Batista entering world champ against The Undertaker in the main event. Batista winning on that occasion. Mr. Kennedy lost a fatal four-way match. Shawn Michaels won Money in the Bank, of course. Shane McMahon won the Intercontinental title. These WrestleManias are always so crazy. It's always fun to look at them. John Cena defeated Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Mr. Kennedy in a fatal four-way to retain the WWE title. Banger. Cena beating the people he beat at WrestleMania 23 and 22 in Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And Mr. Kennedy to boot. Then WrestleMania 26. Mr. Kennedy defeated Kane to retain the WWE title. So entered and exited WrestleMania against Big Scary Kane and kept a hold of it. In the main event, Rey Mysterio defeated Shawn Michaels to retain the WWE World Heavyweight title, which is just lovely. John Cena won Money in the Bank. All these big names. What a Money in the Bank ladder match. John Cena, Edge, Batista, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, and Triple H. That is the most stacked Money in the Bank I've ever seen. And John Cena won. And Undertaker is 0-2 at Mania. And Matt Striker beat the Big Show for the US title. Okay. Triple H and CM Punk formed a tag team called the Coalition. Sure. Okay. Right. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas got to here. Back together. Santino and Carlito formed Caribbean Call. Of course you are, Santino. Triple H and CM Punk formed the Coalition. Jesus. Mr. Kennedy defeated Kane. WrestleMania 27. Mr. Kennedy defeated Paul London in a 95. Paul London and Mr. Kennedy. Paul London got on 89. You been a world champ? Never. Sure. For an 89, no. 95 for that. Absolute banger between those two guys. Main event, Jericho defeated Shawn Michaels. Jericho and Shawn can have a great feud, so no complaints. Cena defeated CM Punk for the world title. Cena and Punk can have a great feud as well, so hey ho. Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio defeated MP and Regal. Shane McMahon leaves WrestleMania Intercontinental Champion again. Of course. I'm just looking if Undertaker lost another match. Not on the card. You know what? That's probably the right call. Randy Orton teaming with Mike Knox and the Great Khali against Colt Cabana, Jesse, and Festus. Sure. And Caribbean Call are tag champs. We love that progress from them. Finally, WrestleMania 28 just gone, where Mr. Kennedy defeated Randy Orton in the main event to retain his world title. Lovely. Edge defeated Paul London in a cage match for the WWE Championship. So Paul London did come close to winning a world title. Putting in an 89 to 80 from Edge, just came up short. It's sad to think that, you know, IRL, if Edge didn't retire after WrestleMania 27, we could have had that match, but what are you going to do? Cena won Money in the Bank again, defeated Rey Mysterio, Batista, Triple H, Jeff Hardy, and Paul London. That's why Paul London lost in the cage match. He just fought in Money in the Bank. There's only so much the man can do. Undertaker got his WrestleMania streak back on track, thanks to the power and strength of Jamie Noble, defeating Miz and Morrison. To retain the WWE World Tag Titles. Undertaker, you know, going to the legend that is Jamie Noble to get his career back on track, as you do. They both put in 73, so I'm not even joking on that one. Whilst the Coalition is now CM Punk and Umaga. Triple H got kicked out for Umaga. Fair enough. As overall, what's there to say about this experiment? I think Mr. Kennedy, the focus of this, we get away from it a bit, but has done very well in that 5-year period. What happened to IRL is he didn't do much for a year and then he got fired and went to Impact, which is fine. But in this year, Universe's 5-year period, he became a 4-time world champion, fought in WrestleMania matches for the WWE title, including main eventing at WrestleMania and retaining the WWE title there. He entered and exited WrestleMania as a world champion twice. Yep. And he won the WWE title at Mania once. He entered and exited Mania as a world champion twice, and the third one hasn't had a Mania match yet, so he might do it again, who knows. But that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below how you think Mr. Kennedy's career has gone having cashed in Money in the Bank. I think this is about as good as it's going to get for him, so I don't think he'd have any complaints about being a 4-time world champ, but let me know what you think. While you're down there, why don't you leave a comment? Also, whilst you're leaving comments about any experience you would like to see done, leave a like and subscribe for more if you have enjoyed, and I hope you have. And as always, I just want to say thank you for watching.